This is EMC 400, and I'm here with Robert Carpenter, and today we're discussing the use of lights and sirens on emergency calls. So, Robert, what is our protocol for responding to calls with lights and sirens?
The whole idea of response for lights and siren is that you want to get there in the safest manner, but yet the quickest, most expedient manner to be able to save that patient's life. So it's kind of what the public expects when they call an ambulance, is that ambulance is going to show up with lights and siren and so forth. So the question becomes, when is it safe to do that? When is it not safe to do that? When do you upgrade? When do you downgrade? And is there ever a time? In my opinion, and this is Bobby talking, but in my opinion, it comes down to what is the risk versus the benefit in doing lights and siren. Lights and siren is the requesting the right of way for safe passage of an ambulance. It's real easy to, with lights and siren going, to have that adrenaline rush and so forth. But and I think it's more important in responding to an incident to see what you truly have, that we use lights and siren and that we get there in an expedient manner. Particularly when it is a 911 emergency type call. The element that we sometimes overlook and forget, that once we are there, that we are providing the very best advanced life support care that we can for that patient. So for example, if you're starting a line en route, or you're doing CPR on a patient en route to a facility, you're splinting, you're bandaging, those sort of things. All of those life-saving skills and things that you do during a response is smoother, better, because you're providing care. Is the time that is saved worth the risk of forcing other drivers to get out of your way? Many times they don't have places to go, particularly in your urban areas and so forth. So you have to use common sense, professional judgment, and determine what is best for that patient. Am I going to be able to get this patient from point A to point B safely? Is lights and siren going to make a difference in that patient's care? Or are those minutes better spent, those minutes that are longer, are they better spent in providing safer care for the crew and the patient? I mean, the ultimate goal is for all of us to go home unhurt, for all of us to get that patient to his destination safely. And the one element that we need to remember that we have to weigh into our equation in upgrading is, in the event of an accident, not only have we endangered that patient or have we endangered ourselves, there is also that loss of that piece of equipment that is not available to respond then during repair or replacement. So there's not an easy answer to that question. Society expects one thing, but we probably need to change our world view on what is actually gained by the use of lights and siren.
Okay, when would you downgrade?
I would downgrade when in two situations. One, when the patient is stable and that we are able to maintain the patient's level of care, that we're doing no additional harm to the patient. And the other would be when traffic conditions would warrant that it is just too dangerous to proceed emergency. That could be inclement weather such as snow, ice, fog, or it could just be heavy traffic to the point where you are actually creating more hazards other drivers by running Emergent than non-Emergent.
All right. Well, thank you, Robert, for your time. That was very informative.